everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I had, was it today? Doesn't matter. Yeah, today, yesterday, I don't know. You know what? Days mean nothing to me anymore. It's just a day. So anyway, I had this realization because the other day I made a video about being childlike and looking through this awakening through the eyes of a child. And the thought went through my head while I was doing the video, but it didn't come out in the video. So, but there's more to it. And that's probably why it didn't come out in the video. So when you think about a child, children grow up knowing nothing. Children are born knowing nothing, right? Whatever reality they step into, rich, poor, famous, not famous, whatever country they're in, whatever their belief system, whatever their family's belief system is, whatever their language is, that's what they grow up with. And they just accept it, right? There's nothing, they're not questioning it because they have nothing to compare it to. They don't go along and say, well, why am I poor? I shouldn't be poor. I should be rich. Why is this not working? They don't know any different. Or, why am I rich? How can I help people with my money? Why are other people poor? They go with whatever belief system they're taught. Now, they go with what belief system they taught. I was getting ready to go down a long rabbit hole, and I'm like, no. So, in your awakening process, that's where our struggle comes in. Because that's what you were taught. Now, you're stepping into a whole new life, a whole new reality. So you're looking at everything that's happening and comparing it to what you had before. And it's not matching up. It's not making sense. You're trying to make sense of your new life, your new reality. You can't make sense of it. And when you try to match it back to your existence before, it just screws everything up. Because you're not who you were before. And what hit me, this is crazy. The term born again, you know, when Christians talk about being born again, that's what the hell they're talking about. That's what Jesus was talking about when he was talking about being born again, not of your mother, not of this world, but it's your awakening. He went through it. We're going through it. And that's what he was talking about, is when you step into this new reality, you need to have the eyes of a child. You need to be childlike. You need to stop trying to figure it out. Be like a child. Children don't try to figure out anything. When you get older, yes. But when you are a baby and you're learning to walk and talk and run and eat and play and all of those things, that's where, a lot of you are beyond that point. But for those of you that are just starting this journey, that's where you are. Not in a literal sense. No different than being born again is not like, as the people in the Bible were like, but Jesus, how do we crawl back up in our mother's womb and come back out again? I know. He was probably like, oh my God. This is not, it's not literal. Nothing he said was literal other than love everybody, you know, and be childlike. That's what he's talking about. So you being, and I'm honest to God, I'm telling you, and I speak from experience. Because when you just look at life that it just is, and you stop trying to figure it out, you stop trying to compare it to your past. Why are things happening? Why do you feel different? Why are you thinking of things different? Why are things happening in a different way? That's why. Because you're literally born again. Your ego death, you have an ego death, which means you stop letting your ego control you, which is your old existence, and then you start controlling your ego, which is your new existence. There is a death and a rebirth. You are reborn into another existence that you don't understand. You cannot wrap your head around it. And like I said, I was talking to somebody, and all of a sudden, born again just like rang in my head. I was like, that explains it. And like I said, it goes back to my other video that talks about seeing things through the eyes of like a child. Because again, children have nothing to compare what you're telling them. You know, you could teach a child that this shirt is green. They're not going to question it. They're going to grow up thinking this is green until they go to school and they're told something else. They don't question what you tell them. As adults, again, our frustration comes in when I tell you this is green and you're like, no, it's not. It's red or wine or whatever color it is. It's white stripes. So that literally, and I say this with all the love in the world, it is that easy. It is that easy. Because when you're trying to question everything, even the smallest stuff, you have a choice. Again, you're learning to control your ego and stop letting your ego control you. Your ego only knows what it knows. Okay, again, your ego was taught that this is wine, the color wine. I'm telling you, it's, I don't know, something different. So you're questioning it because that's not what you were taught. I'm telling you, you have the choice. There is no good or bad. It just is. I'm telling you that God created everything. I'm telling you that Satan isn't here to harm you. Satan is here out of love. It depends on, I told a friend this morning, I said, it depends, you have a choice on which sandbox you want to play in for the day. You can wake up and think, you know what, I'm going to have a good day, and something happen and you just let it go because you're going to play in the fun sandbox. You're going to play in God's box today. Just to keep this simple, you're going to play in God's box today. It doesn't matter what happens. You're going to just explain it off. You're going to write it off. And it just is. It's fun. It's exciting. You know, you might see a pig fly and you're like, oh my God, that's awesome. I've never seen a pig fly before. Tomorrow. So you have all these interesting things that happen in God's sandbox. In God's sandbox, you have the angels that are there to help you perpetuate happiness and joy and bliss and abundance and gratitude and all of those things. Now, tomorrow you wake up and you see a pig fly, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. Because all your life you have heard, yep, that'll happen when pigs fly, like it's a bad thing. Or when hell freezes over or whatever, you know? So you look at that pig flying as, this is not normal. Something's going on. Something's wrong. You just climbed into Satan's sandbox with all of those angels. Those angels are there to help you to play with you in that sandbox. They play with you for fear, anger, greed, judgment, division, blame, shame, guilt, all of that stuff. And they're there to bring all of those toys and to keep adding to your experiences in that sandbox. And therefore, everything that happens, when you're in God's sandbox, you're in happiness and joy and all of those kinds of things. And when you choose to stay there, you will get more good things. And even if hell freezes over, you're going to be like, okay, my feet are kind of cold, but that's okay. I mean, I look at it as that's cool as shit. You know? So, but when you're in Satan's sandbox, you look at the same things through different eyes. Because you're focused on, you get what you focus on. And when you focus on the fear, they send you more things to be fearful of. And when you start looking at things illogically, they start sending you more things to be illogical about. That is how it works. You can't wrap your 3D brain around that. You can't completely understand how that all works. And you're not meant to. Your job is to change your mindset, shift your focus. You have the power to do that. We humans are the most powerful creatures on this planet. But honest to God, we have become what word am I looking for? I don't want to say the worst. And not everybody. I'm not saying everybody. But I'm saying as a whole, it is crazy to me how people just, they get complacent, they get lazy, they're busy blaming everybody else on their problems. They get stuck in fear and drama and gossip and all of those things. Animals don't do that. You take a chicken has like one of the smallest brains. I think it's chickens. Anyway, doesn't matter. Chickens don't get caught up in all that nonsense. They get up, they go out, they do whatever they're going to do. Whatever happens, they just brush it off and they keep going. You know, I heard this, and I was just reminded of this analogy one time. A deer. Deer are going along eating, right? They're grazing, they're drinking water, they're eating, whatever. They hear a gunshot. They hear somebody come through the woods. They hear an animal coming after them. They go into fight or flight. They take off to save themselves. As soon as that fear, that threat is over, they calm back down. They go back to eating and drinking and just going about their life. We get caught, we go into fight or flight and stay there. And then more crap comes in, because again, you get what you focus on. More crap comes in, perpetuating you staying in this fight or flight situation. Instead of the threat's over, it's gone. And we worry about some of the most ridiculous stuff. Stuff that isn't even our business. We're worrying about our neighbor. And why is our neighbor selling his house? Oh my God, is everything okay? Who's going to move into his house? I hope they're nice. God, what if it's a bad person? It's crazy. But that's humans. You know, but that's what we've been geared to do. Because we've been fed all the fear our whole lives. You know, most of us grew up with the freaking television. It's called programming. It's called programs on the television for a reason, because it was programming your mind into fear and victimhood and drama. The sooner you get out of that, the sooner your life becomes amazing. You can't be happy and sad at the same time. It's physically impossible. You can't have, the fear over faith. It says fear, there's a line, and underneath of it says faith. No. That was backwards. Faith over fear. Pam. Faith over fear. We live in fear over faith. That's where that was. That's where we live. Most people live. Shift to faith. Just have faith that everything is happening for you. You may not understand it. Kids, just have faith that their parents aren't going to lie to them. School isn't going to teach them a bunch of lies. They don't know that their parents are only teaching them their limiting beliefs that they were taught, and that the school is teaching them an agenda that it was taught. Kids don't know that. They just run on faith that, okay, this is what I'm learning. And now, as adults, we're finding out that your parents taught you their limiting beliefs and the school taught you an agenda. Now you're having to relearn all that stuff. And really, there is no relearning it. Because honestly, none of it really matters. At the end of the day, none of it really matters. Because when you live in love and unity, without judgment, without division, who cares what color my shirt is? Who cares whether I saw a pig fly and you didn't, or you saw a pig fly and I didn't? Think about it. We've been honestly, the level of brainwashing that has gone on in this world to the extent that it's gone on is mind-boggling to me. And people get stuck in it. And that's the part that breaks my heart. It's like when you can see past that, things get so much better. You know, what was it? Yesterday, my video. I started my video and like a bunch of stuff started happening. And I was like, for the love of God, I just want to do a video. I did my video and I went about my day. I didn't let it get me down. I wasn't supposed to, the first one I did, I just shut it off and deleted it. I was like, you know what? I wasn't meant to send that. I could go into victimhood and this just doesn't happen. None of my other videos get messed up like that. This one did. Just shut it off and start it over again. Today, what was it? Something happened today. I don't remember what the heck it was. Anyway, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. You have the choice. Pick the sandbox that you want to play in. You know, and no, technically, you could look at it as God's box and Satan's box. That's not how I look at it, but because I know there's a bigger picture. But instead of diving down a rabbit hole that you don't even need to dive down, instead of trying to figure out stuff that you don't even really need to figure out, just understand every moment of every moment is your choice to make a decision. And that decision will pick the next, and again, It picks the next timeline you travel down. It picks how the next moment unfolds. And again, you get what you focus on. When you're focusing on negative stuff, problems, issues, stress, you get more problems, issues, and stress. When you just let that be like a duck in the water, just let that roll off your back. And stop questioning everything. You know, and I say this because when I started my journey, I didn't understand all this nonsense. I didn't understand it. And I tried to figure some of this stuff out. And I finally got to the point, you know, it's like, because I was listening to all these videos saying you needed to do this and you needed to do that and you needed to do the other thing. And I was like, but wait a minute. And I'll tell you where it hit me. I will tell you exactly where it hit me, because I wanted to learn to channel. And I wanted to learn to talk to animals. And I tried everything I heard. I listened to so many videos. I tried to figure out how to make it happen. I did breath work. I did, you name it, I did it. Trying to clear energy, clear everything that was blocking me. And one day, call it God, call it just my aha moment, it dawned on me. I was thinking, you know what? There are people out there that this just happens. When I found out you could communicate with animals, it was from a girl I went to high school with. She was my sister's age. And she told me she just, when she was, young, she hugged a horse. And all of a sudden, she's like a video playing in her head, she saw this horse's life. And that was when she realized she was communicating with this horse was communicating with her. So therefore, she expanded it and opened her business to help find missing pets. It didn't matter what I did. That never happened for me. Yes, I get some messages. Channeling. I wanted to channel my higher self, my guide. I tried everything. It just didn't happen. And one day, I thought, wait a minute. These people you're listening to didn't ask for this stuff, didn't try to make it happen. Now, Esther Hicks is different. She did try to make it happen. But most of the rest of them I was listening to, it just happened. Like one guy was on a subway and he heard a voice. It's, what's his face? God, forgive, he channels the Z's. I just went completely, and I apologize. These other people, it's like, it just happens. And that is when I stopped and I said, you know what? You can't make this happen. If it's meant to be, it will be. Manifesting. I was trying to manifest my husband. It didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter what procedure I did, what thing I tried. He wasn't showing up. Until I let go and I said, you know what? I'm okay when he, because I knew he'd show up sometime at some point. When he shows up, he shows up. And then he showed up. Because then I went back and I thought, you know what, Pam? You have been manifesting. Look at the stuff that you have manifested throughout your whole life. And if you go back and listen to my videos, I'll tell you some of the stuff that I've manifested, including this house. And my horse and my husband. You don't need to do all this stuff to manifest. Writing it down. Anyway. So when you stop trying to figure this out, you will naturally evolve. You will naturally, the right people will be put in your path. The right ideas will come to you. There are people out there telling you to step into your power, be creative. Now's the time to be creative. And I fell into that trap because I'm trying to figure out what the hell is it I'm supposed to create. I finally realized, you know what? I do my YouTube videos. I have created an amazing life. The next thing will come along when it's meant to come along. If there's something else. So just let go. If you are struggling, and I say this with all the love in the world, you are making it harder on yourself. Basically, just don't care. Yes, work on you. You know, if you feel drawn to meditate. If you feel drawn to do hypnotherapy, go do hypnotherapy. If you feel drawn just to go get a massage, go get a massage. If you really feel drawn to watch a YouTube, watch the YouTube. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Because there might be one little, it's like going to church. You'll pick up what you're meant to pick up, but the whole message might not be pertinent to you. There might be a sentence in there that just smacks you right between the eyes and it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize that. You trying to make this happen, you trying to figure this out, you trying to evolve, you trying to do anything or forcing it, all it's doing is stressing you out. Kids don't try. They just learn. And they don't question. They just... I won't say they don't. No, they look for more meaning. You know, it's like when I was helping my dad build stuff. I might question him and say, okay, explain this to me. How does this work? You know, but I don't worry about why we're putting up a wall. Why you run the wires through the studs. It didn't matter. It just is part of the process. We get stuck in the minutia. Again, be like a child and just accept it. And know everybody's different. That's the beautiful part about it. You aren't like anybody else. You're going to get what you get when you're supposed to get it. Like Jesus said a couple of days ago, accept what comes as it comes. And when you do that, your life will shift like I can't tell you. Just accept it as it comes, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, just like yesterday with the interruptions in my video, just accept it. Was it annoying? Yeah, but I didn't get stuck in it. I accepted it and I moved on. There was a reason for it. So I wish I could say, you know, part of me wants to say there is no magic answer, but that is the magic answer. Just literally accept what comes as it comes and stop trying to question it. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to relate it back to your old life. Your old life, basically, I want to say is dead and gone. You can't go back. You're not here to go backwards. You're here to move forward. So I send you love. I send you light. If you need help shifting your mindset, shifting out of limiting beliefs, get my books. Liberating your consciousness will help you figure out what your limiting beliefs are and help you eliminate them. Cultivating peace and purpose helps you see things from a different viewpoint. Helps you see how even the crap that we consider bad is happening for you when you learn to look through the eyes of a child. So have an amazing day. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. And I want to say just let go, but I know some of you are probably ready to choke me on this. I'm telling you, when you get beyond this point and you just learn to let go and accept, you will be able to look back on everything you're going through right now and go, now I see why. Now I see why I went through that. And you're going to be grateful that it happened because it puts you in a better place. So, until next time, we will talk soon.